Now, I'm not a believer that there is anything outside of yourself that will ever give you lasting happiness, joy, peace, or any of the things that we truly desire within this life. There is nothing out there that you need in order to be fulfilled and to be whole. The things that you find out there are only going to be temporary solutions to a permanent problem that exists within ourselves. They are band-aids for open wounds, band-aids for broken bones in most cases. However, when it comes to living a life that is truly fulfilled, there is no way you can expect to do something that you hate and expect to love your life. Yet this form of insanity, of lunacy, of absolute delusion is the one that most of us are living under in this modern day and age. For most of us, they say close to 80% of the population, especially in the Western world, this has been surveyed, 80% plus of individuals hate their jobs. That means they are doing something for at least 40 to 50% of the time and thinking about this something at least 25% more of the time that they absolutely hate, which means 75% of their life is something that they hate. Now, for most of us who work is all consuming in most cases because it defines everything that we do and even what we feel we can do, etc., it is damn near 100% of your life, right? It's not just, going there and back or now logging in and logging out and those 8 hours or 9 hours or 10 hours in between. Now it's the weekends when you're thinking about projects or think about what you got to do or think about having to go back to work, right? Thinking about the situations that are going on. Am I going to keep my job? Am I not? What's going to happen next quarter? Blah, 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 blah. All these quotes. Like you are consumed by something that you've given yourself to because you believed it was going to be your sense of security, but now it has just displayed itself as the most insecure aspect of your life. It is a constant reminder that you are not living a fulfilled life. Now, I'm not here to bash 9-to-5s. I'm not here to bash jobs at all. Trust me, I'm not the person to do it. I used to be a person who would gladly bash those, but I'm not going to bash them for a simple reason. Because bashing them is not going to do any justice to those who are still finding themselves, trapping themselves in that cycle. Right? I'm not going to do you any justice if you're in a 9-to-5 right now and you feel trapped. The best thing I can do for you is to first tell you the truth. And secondly, to give you a solution to that truth. Now, first, that truth is you are not going to be happy. You're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to be satisfied. As a matter of fact, you're going to suffer if you do not do what you love in this life. Because you are not living out your true purpose. And when I say purpose, I'm not talking about this airy-fairy idea of purpose, right? Oh, go find your purpose. Go find your passion. No, I'm talking about a grounded, very real aspect of your life. Everything on this planet, every single aspect of our ecosystem has a purpose, an intention. It is here for a reason. There is nothing that is here simply by happenstance. There's nothing that was thrown in the mix just to mix things up that does not affect something within its environment that's going to affect the next thing and the next thing, and it all affects one another, right? We are all connected symbiotically to our environment. Therefore, what has you thinking as the highest form of known intelligence within this ecosystem that we live, the only one that can make conscious decisions, what makes you think that you are the only one who was not born with the purpose? I damn near say that's arrogance, right? I know it's insecurity and I know it's a low self-worth, but there is arrogance to be said. I am the only one, right? It's like people, when we go through our problems, we say, well, I am going through the worst type of problem. No, there is no worst type of problem. Pain is pain, fear is fear, anger is anger, resentment is resentment. It does not matter. There might be degrees to it, but one's is not more or better or worse than the next. Therefore, there is no being living on this planet that does not have there's nothing in this entire known universe that does not serve a purpose. Even the asteroids, the black holes, etc., these things that we think are so destructive, the earthquakes, the fire, the forest fires, etc., they all serve a purpose within this ecosystem, believe it or not. You might not like it. It might seem like an inconvenience, but it serves a purpose. There are people who might be doing things that you look down to, but they're serving a purpose. And so you within yourself have something that was placed within you that is your God-given purpose. Something that was endowed within you that you are here to do. A way in which you're supposed to express yourself to aid the rest of society and civilization. For instance, for myself, this just happens to be the means of communication in this modern day and age. If I was born in the 1950s or 1940s, it might have been, the radio, right? Or stages. If it was the 1920s, it might have been newspaper articles, right? And magazines. If it was in the 1500s, I might be, standing on a street corner on a box somewhere talking to the people. Like, there's some way I'm going to disseminate the message that I was given to speak to the people. I am a messenger. That is what I am. That's how I was crafted. That is my purpose here on this earth. I'm a connector and I am a messenger, right? I connect people. I connect people to ideas. I connect people to one another. I connect people to their deepest core desire or their deepest core passion, their deepest core purpose. And I give them the message that's going to lead them closer and closer to those aspirations. That's what I'm here to do. And so I do it in this form. I do it in the book form. I do it in the movie form, in the television series form, right? In, again, building up other influential individuals form. I do it in all of these different ways, but that's still the core purpose that I have. So when most of us think of purpose, we're thinking of a job or we're thinking of a profession. What does it look like on the surface? And I get it because that's what we're taught, right? We go to school and they say, what are you going to do for a living? As opposed to who are you going to be? Ooh, that's a bar right there. When we go to school, they ask us, what are you going to do for a living as opposed to who are you going to be? What do you want to be? What change do you want to impact or affect in this world? Imagine if we went into school and that was a question that was reiterated time and time and time again. Imagine what a different environment we would have. Imagine what a different world we would live in if that was the fundamental question. Who do you want to be? Or who do you see yourself as? Because it's really in us already, right? It's just that we have multitudes of layers that are programmed onto us, multitudes of these programmed codes, right? These multiple forms of hypnoses that we're put under to have us stop believing in what we truly are, to have us have a low self-worth, a low self-esteem, or just no sense of self in essence. And so we become basically a hollow shell of a person. And we move about life as that hollow shell, not having a true grounded identity in spirit and looking for identity in other shiznite. I don't know if I can cuss on YouTube for real. I need to look up the rules, right? But basically, we find ourselves looking into our external environment, looking for the Gucci, looking for the Prada, looking for the Dada, looking for the Nada, something that we can wear in order to be represented in somewhere, to seem like or feel like somebody. Because I'm wearing that, I am somebody now. Because I got them shoes on, I am somebody now. Now I can be something. Now I have an identity, right? Or if I change from this to this, from that to that, now I am a somebody. We're doing all these things when in truth what we're looking for is the very identity that we have already been given. Before you step foot on this earth, before you let out your first cry, before you emerged into this world, you had a purpose that was ordained and placed onto your life. And it is only when you tap into that purpose that you will no longer be miserable, that you no longer be walking around this earth like a zombie, no longer walking about this earth like a purposeless, happenstance human being, or even human. If you can even describe it as a human, at that point, it's not even being. It's simply a human doing. Or not even a human, it's just a doing. You are just a doing. You are a part of a machine. You are a cog in a machine when you live outside of your purpose. But the moment that you make a decision to step into purpose, to live by your purpose, to manifest those things that are within you into your physical experience, you will find fulfillment. You will find healing through your gifts and your purpose, just as this has revealed more about me to me than anything. When every time I write, and I'm writing a story and I'm writing characters, I see myself in those characters. That's self-reflection for me. That those characters are telling me a truth about myself that I otherwise might have not discovered or recognized. And now I'm able to look within myself deeper and let go of those things that were limiting me. Let go of the bounds, let go of the boundaries, let go of the bondage that was capturing me, that was captivating me in something that was not serving me. We give ourselves to these jobs. We give ourselves to these companies and these corporations, and we give our entire self. And I'm not mad at you. You got bills to pay and babies to feed. But at the end of the day, when are you going to feed you? And when are you going to feed us? For real. I'm not talking about flipping patties. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you going to serve me a plate at the restaurant you're working at. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're going to give me your gift. When are you going to stop being so selfish? When are you going to stop being so afraid? When are you going to stop allowing your past to control you and give of your gift? Give me your purpose. I want what you have to create. I need what you have to create because that's a part of my healing. That's a part of my transformation, what you got within you. But as long as you hold it within there, you're going to suffer. And I'm not speaking this on you as a curse. I am revealing the truth to you because you're already in a state of suffering. And you toil and you agonize and you're frustrated and you wonder why the abundance ain't coming in and the people ain't coming in and you just don't feel right. You wake up every morning resentful. You wake up every morning afraid. You wake up every morning frustrated. You wake up every morning to an alarm clock that you have to turn off 3 or 4 times because you don't want to get up, because you don't want to do those things, because you're not in your purpose. You know, there's a saying by Eric Thomas. He says, my passion wakes me up, right? My alarm clock don't wake me up. My passion wakes me up. When are you going to start having your passion waking you up? When are you going to let go of that false sense of security that these jobs are giving you? Like I said, I'm not saying to quit your job and leave your job right now. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is to start reviewing your life in a very honest way. When are you going to stop using I got to pay my bills as an excuse from stepping into your gift that's going to bless you for real? You know, one of my favorite shows is like the Whoever That Built America. So there was the Men That Built America, but now they got like the Food That Built America, the Toys That Built America. And I love the Food That Built America. It's given me such a different scope on innovation, on like how we build and how we become it. It's a wonderful documentary. It's the type of thing like even kids will want to watch, right? It's like movie style. And I recently, just today, I watched an episode of Mrs. Fields and Famous Amos and how they came to be. And these were people who literally decided to cook cookies and make cookies that were better than what the market had because these were homemade cookies. And they took that small idea of literally baking cookies and they gave it to the world. And those became billion-dollar companies in not even that long of time spans. Within those people's time spans, within those people's lifespans, they became massive companies just based off of cookies they were cooking. Famous Amos, he said within like the first month, he was doing like 700 pounds worth of cookies a day or something like that. Like just nutty numbers. And these were people who are passionate about making some good bomb chocolate chip cookies. So think about that. Your Colonel Sanders, I don't care what you may think about fried chicken or chicken at all. You might be a vegan watching this right now. But those individuals decided to bet on their own gift, the things that they love most, that gave them purpose. Some people, all they want to do is talk about hair all day. And that might be something that you're supposed to engross yourself in. Some people, you know, they're made to garden. They're made to have their hands to the plow, their hands to the earth, and they are obsessive about it, but yet they go to a job for 9-10 hours where they can't stop thinking about them plants, or they can't stop thinking about them dogs and how they can't wait to train the dog and do this and, you know, take the dogs out here and, ooh, your coworkers talking about dogs, you run to that conversation. Other coworkers talking about dogs, you run to that conversation. When are we going to start listening to our spirit? When are we going to start listening to our souls? When are we going to stop ignoring our truth? When? This one right here, this is a different type of subject for me because it's so deeply ingrained in everything that I stand for, everything that I am, everything I do, because I was the one who ran for my purpose harder than all of y'all put together. I ran circles around my purpose to the point that I came back to it time and time and time again. And I kept dropping off. I kept quitting. I kept leaving. I would come and then I'd go. I'd come and then I'd go. revolving door within my purpose in life, revolving door within my true passions, running from it, not allowing it to be my source of abundance. And let me get to this thing of, we talk about, okay, but what about the money? Bruh, every person who has followed their purpose, every person who has pursued their purpose in life has always, always, always ended up far wealthier than anybody who chose to be in a job. Even the highest paid execs, right? So you do not want to be a doctor, but you say, I got to get my doctorate and I got to become some type of specialist doctor in order for me to make the type of money I want to make, to have the type of lifestyle I want to build for my family. Okay, fantastic. So you end up getting your degree, 12 years 12 years education after high school. And then you get your degree. You now got your doctorate. You're in residency. You do the whole nine. And now you're a doctor. Maybe you're 10 years in, right? So now it's been a 22-year period, 25-year period that you now have 10 years in the industry. And let's say you're making $300,000 to $500,000 as like the specialist, top-notch specialist, right? $300,000 to $500,000 a year. Sounds amazing. Sounds like very good money for that profession. But you also aren't 100% passionate about it, but you do it because it's providing you that income. But you're tired, you're worn out, and you're not really motivated to continue to build. You just do your job. Now think about somebody like a Dr. Oz. Whatever you think about the man, I don't care. That's not what this is about. I'm using these people as inspirational purpose only. This ain't about Hollywood. Oh, they're doing this. Like, I'm not talking about any of that. What I'm talking about, the inspiration of the individual. So just get that first and foremost. So a Dr. Oz type of individual says, okay, I'm a doctor, I'm this, but I'm passionate about talking to people and helping people. Like, I'm passionate about being out there, being a public figure, whatever his story was. And so he says, I'm going to take some time away from the practice and I'm going to build out this show, right? Or I'm going to start putting myself out there on the internet until it catches wind, and then Oprah Winfrey finds you. And then now she sees something in you, and now you start building. Because he chose to do something different than just be in that hospital setting, he now is making probably $10 million easily a year just from TV. Let alone, he's still doing surgeries, by the way, but he only does a snip. He's got multiple businesses, etc. But my point is, because he bet on himself and his true purpose and his true passion, which is being on television and speaking to the masses, because he chose that route, he's able to do grander things. He's able to do far greater things than anyone else could have imagined, than he probably could have imagined for himself when he was in residency or when he was still in school to get his doctorate. But now he's living a life where abundance is absolute for him, right? And also his mentor, or his partner, Oprah, I guess you would say. She's one of those. She was a journalist getting paid $20,000 a year. Her mom or her dad said, you're an idiot if you're ever going to leave this job. No black woman will ever make this much money ever again. And she left that job and she said, I want to act. And, there's a bunch of synchronicities that happen. She ends up in The Color Purple. And she's seen from there by these television hosts who want to put together a show. And she ends up becoming the Oprah Winfrey Show. Now imagine if she stayed in that journalism job that she hated because they paid her a cool little $20,000. Which maybe was like 60, 70,000 at this point. I don't know. I don't know what the exchange rate is at this point, or what consider inflation. But all I know is that $3 billion is a little bit more than she would have made as a journalist. I'll tell you that for sure. And an empire on top of that. And the fact that we know her name. I don't know a single journalist on television besides maybe Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon, and only because they've been in the news recently. But besides that, I don't know a journalist, for real, like a TV job. I don't know an anchor. I'm sorry, I don't. So that just goes to show you, when you live in your purpose, the rewards of your purpose are endless. They're infinite. That's where your true state of abundance is, and it will always follow your purpose. You chasing a bag, but the bag is trying to chase your purpose. You chase the bag chases purpose, period.